Aloha! Top of the morning, friends and family. How you wonderful, beautiful people doing today? On this channel, we upload one beautifully edited cinematic masterpiece per week. However, this video is uncut. And in today's uncut video, saying goodbye to some of my snakes. You watching the channel the last few weeks, you know that I've been planning to rehome some snakes. Been doing some auctions on Palmstreet, which we'll be doing again next Thursday, not tomorrow, but next Thursday. And I want to talk a little bit about what that process is like. Show some of the snakes I'm shipping off today. I got a bunch of boxes piled up over there, shipping out more snakes than I've ever shipped out in one day in my entire life. So that's fun. And yeah, some of the gripes, some of the things that have pissed me off, some of the feelings that I've been having about the whole process of moving on some of these snakes. Yeah, so I'm gonna just grab a few randomly at handful. Let's talk about what's frustrating first. Frustrating is figuring out like the shipping stuff. I think that some people just don't care as much. I'm with shipping their animals. Like, so I set a set price for shipping on the snakes, and now and then people kind of there were a couple of complaints in the comments like, I haven't seen shipping for that much on a auction thing, and I was like, well, maybe I'll bring it down a little bit. But I hadn't shipped anything, so I initially set my shipping costs at $80. And then because I'm shipping bigger snakes, so I assumed it would be more, because usually I'm somewhere in this, I'm way out here in California. So a lot of my snakes, like I've got snakes today that are going to Missouri or Texas, but it's basically like everywhere as far as it could be, because I'm not in the middle of the country, I'm on the edge of the country. So generally my stuff, unless it's staying like close to my state, which it seems to never be, always going to the other side of the country or to the middle of the country, I don't know, 60, 65, sometimes 70, 75. So I figured 80 would be safe, because they're bigger than the snakes I ever ship. I only ever ship out snakes like this. Like this one's going out today. He's going out to Garrett, actually, little girl here. Beautiful, possible orange dream, orange spot nose, fire clown. Beautiful girl, looking really nice. Stoked for her to go out, because I was going to plan on selling one of these anyway, as far as like babies go. But so anyway, I figured, $80 would be reasonable to put on the shipping price, because we're going to be doing mostly bigger snakes, and that's probably what it would cost me. And there were a bunch of complaints about it, or a handful of complaints, I should say. So I was like, well, I'll bump it down to 65 for the next one. And then last week we did the auction for Vin, which went really well and was a ton of fun. And I think went really well, and is not what I'm complaining about right now. That was a good time. That was actually this snake right here. I'll get back to the subject in just a second. I know I like to bounce around with my subjects, but squirrel. So this snake right here actually ended up getting auctioned off like several times, like 7 or 8 times, because people kept redonating him. He's in shed right now, but he's an Enchi clown, and he must have got redonated on the auction like I said, 7 or 8 times. So that was pretty cool, and that actually will like offset some of the cost of the shipping. But yeah, so when it came time to book the shipments this morning, some of these boxes I'm sent out there, they're 16 by 16 by 8, and maybe this is bigger than it needs to be for some of the snakes that I'm shipping. But I figured, why not get the biggest size shipping box for the adults, because I want them to be comfy. I use this polyfill stuff because I want them to have as comfortable as ride as possible. I don't want them to be crammed into a hard box. Who knows how well the handling is going to be with the shipping company. So I use this stuff. It's like a cloud that they can ride on. I want them to be comfy. You know what I mean? Like if the box actually takes a little bit of a tumble, I don't want the snake to suffer from it. I want them to be in a nice little cloud situation. So maybe my costs are a little bit higher, and the rate that I was putting out there is less than this. So anyway, one of those boxes basically comes to like 110, 120-ish for me to ship to the places I'm shipping them today. And that doesn't include the box itself or my packing materials or all that stuff. So it's like, I'm eating a bunch of the shipping costs. So that's frustrating, because like I didn't want to give away the snakes, so anyway, that's my only complaint, is that I don't know, whatever these other rates are happening for different people shipping snakes. Like maybe they're just not putting them in the big box and making them nice and fluffy and comfy. Um, and if that's the case, that sucks. If they're not the case, whatever. But I don't like having to pay for shipping on somebody else's animal they got, which is what I'm doing today a bunch of. But like I said, that one snake like got re-auctioned like 7 times, so all of that probably covered the extra shipping costs. But it's less money I get to send them in, and anyway, that's my complaining part's over. Some cool stuff that happened with, especially like there was a couple of cool things that happened. Here, let me get this snake. This snake's going out today. I got this snake about 2015 from Joe Consolini. This is our big girl Margie Sunglow boa constrictor. And this girl is beautiful. She's been here for a long time. When I first got her, she's probably the harder ones that I'm letting go of right now. But this process has been good. Like I didn't want to just move everything at once. I also didn't want to trickle everything out and make it take forever. So I think the process I've been doing with these Palmstreet auctions is good for me and for the snake. It's just good overall, the way that it's working out here. But so when I first got her and first unboxed her and she arrived back in 2015, she was in shed and she was just about to shed out. So when I first unboxed her, those of you that remember the old Triple B TV channel and some of the first videos, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th video I ever uploaded to YouTube was unboxing this girl right here. And she basically came out of the bag and immediately started like rubbing against my hand and shed right in my hands as I unboxed her. And I had in the background playing like a Pantera song, Shedding Skin. So it's just a cool memory. But what's really cool about that, it's not as cool to be letting go of an animal that I've got such a history with and have had here for so long. But the person that ended up winning her actually works at Joe Consolini's facility. So this girl is actually going back to Joe Consolini. So I just thought that was cool the way that worked out and happened. Like what are the chances that I have this random auction to move some of my snakes and the snake ends up going back to where she came from 10 years ago? I just thought that was pretty cool. I have one other boa that also went up, my Argentine boa, Loki. He went on the auction as well. But I'm not shipping him out today because we had talked about waiting a little bit longer, which is cool because I get to hang out those snakes. And I'm actually going to be selling, most likely selling one of those racks too. Gives me some ideas for space in here for filming opportunities. I don't know, maybe leaving like a permanent drum set up in here, like the electronic drum set. That's something that I've kind of dreamed about, is like having a drum set up so I can easily start recording, like do Music Mondays and whatnot, and not have to set up a drum set every single time, because that's a heck of a process, as you can imagine, including filming all the different parts and all the different musical parts. But if I had a drum set up in here 24/7, that would be cool. So on top of that, as I mentioned, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, I want to show you some of the animals that will be doing. I'll probably be doing Junior, which I guess I could get him out right now. I wasn't planning to pull him out actually, but I can. And it shouldn't be too eventful, even though he's probably in some kind of feed mode right now. But I was thinking this next coming auction that we'll do some blood pythons, we'll do some retics, and it'll just be different. This last one was cool because we got to do some of the ball pythons that I produced recently, as well as some of the ones that are not produced by me, like Chase Baker, a snake I got from him. We ended up auctioning last time. That's the other cool thing, is like when we're doing the auction live, like you get the opportunity if somebody's on there like, hey, do you have any of this? And you can be in the moment on the stream, be like, actually, I do have that. So I ended up auctioning off a couple animals that I didn't have initially, which is, again, good for me because I do want to move animals, and I probably need to move more of them than I'm willing to in the moment. So when somebody's on there like, hey, what about this animal? What about that animal? It's like, oh, actually, yeah, since you're here right now, let's do that. And so that's kind of cool. You can see Junior's eye still, he still has issues. It's just a thing. It goes up, it goes down. But I've learned from experience now that you just kind of have to let it do its up and down thing, and trying to mess with it medically is a bad idea at this point. So, as Junior, he's shining in all his glory. I don't know if his iridescence is really coming through. I mean, this is such a stunningly iridescent snake, and you just have to kind of catch the right angle on it to see it. But it's so dark and black that when you do catch the light on it right, I mean, the iridescence is absolutely ridiculous. So maybe some of it's coming through right now, maybe some of it isn't. It's hard to tell on this computer, on this camera screen. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull out one other snake maybe that I'm thinking of doing next week. I'm trying to figure out which blood pythons. Ooh. And you can see she just shed out, so it's a little mess in there. But I'm trying to figure out which blood pythons. I've still got my buddy Travis's blood python, so I need to talk to him about that boy. And I don't know. I want to let go of a couple blood pythons. I'm having trouble knowing which ones. Like I said, I'll talk to Travis, see if he wants that snake back, or if he just wants me to sell it for him. And then I've got a male that Noah picked out as his first snake. And then I've got a big girl that we produced named Droplet that is Sangria's offspring. And I don't really want to gosh dang it. I don't want to let go of either of them. I mean, I figured I want to keep like a pair. I want to keep a male and a female blood python. And I'd love to keep both of them though. So that's the issue. That's the part I'm struggling with, is like, I want to keep a pair. Which two am I going to let go of and keep a pair? That's hard. That's hard for me. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. And then I got these two of my 4 big females in here. I need two of those should go as well. Really should. I don't need 4 mainland reticulated pythons just for S&Gs. It's like, I don't. That's the whole part of this whole process. I don't need all of this that I have here. Help. Anyway, that's an update on what's going on here. I'm gonna let you guys go and go ship off these 7 or 8 animals, and then we'll see you on the next video. Until then, y'all take care. Aloha. Bye.